Alright, so I have finally received all the parts that I need for my EOC performance tune, which includes the exhaust, the engine tune, and the transmission tune. So let's get this project started.
It's time to install the ECU with the new tune and get this exhaust in. I'm going to take out the old ECU. Out with the old. Now we've got to switch the bracket over to the new ECU. Now we've got to wiggle this baby back in here. Now we're just kind of going back and putting all the wires back where they go that we had to take off in order to get to that old ECU. Now we're just going to tighten down our bolts. All right, now let's get this ECU plugged in. And unfortunately, to get to the exhaust, I've got to take off this Artec skid plate. After I got the Artec Industries skid plate out of the way, I moved on to the factory exhaust skid plate. And now that I've got all of those skid plates out of the way, it's time to start getting this exhaust out piece by piece. Piece number one. That's what I'm trying to get it to come off of there. I struggled for a while getting the exhaust out of the hangers, so I eventually ended up just taking the exhaust hangers off of the frame. I have to take it off the other side too, I guess. I'm plugged in somewhere. I'm stuck. Second piece out. The EOC kit, there is only one EGR block-off plate, and it actually goes right here. It's located on the bottom side of the motor where the turbo comes out. And that's the last piece. Okay, so we finally got the exhaust out. So now that we've got it out, this is actually where your EGR block-off plate is gonna go, kind of where the turbo is. You think this is gonna be easy to get out, but let me tell you, all these little sensors and O2 things that are on the top are an absolute bear to get to, and that is what's going to take you the longest getting this kit out. Important note for anyone else out there doing this, make sure that you don't cut the clamp off of the top of the exhaust where it comes off the engine. Make sure you take the time to unscrew it and get it out, because you will be reusing this clamp. Make sure you install the EGR block-off plate before the exhaust, because it makes it a little bit easier. Now we're going to be installing the EGR block-off plate. And next I'm just
tightening down this nut that came with the factory setup so it doesn't rattle. When taking out the exhaust, it was just easier for me to take out the exhaust hangers with it. So now I need to take those off because I will be reusing it. And now I'm just going to be reinstalling those exhaust hangers, fitting those exhaust pieces together and clamping them down. Going to be reusing the factory piece. It looks probably a little different because we may have clearance a little. I'm gonna have to loosen this and to get it to line up correctly. In. And this part is going to be the transmission tune from EOC. First thing that we've got to do is unmarry this taser. So through to unmarry. Unmarry. Next, we've got to plug in our programmer to the OB2 port. And now that we've got that plugged in, we're going to go into tuning. And then we're gonna go down to dodge, over, then we're gonna go down to RAM 1500, hit that arrow. A little cheat code, you may have to get a little stylus pin because the touchpad doesn't exactly work easy. So although this is an eco diesel, they still want us to select Hemi. Next. Key on and confirm. 2 times, right? Off. Put off the brake. Man, this thing don't work. There we go. Please wait. Stock file missing. Start to read ECU. Select yes. Now that that process is done, we are going to switch the ignition off and unplug. And now we need a computer. All right, so now that we're back inside and on the laptop, make sure you open up that PWG app that they sent with you. And then you're gonna plug the device in and allow it to update. So next we are gonna go right over here to download data.
And then you're going to click the file. And now we are going to name our file, and EOC gives you the name that they want you to give it so they can keep everybody separated. Now we're going to email this file over to EOC and wait for a new file to come back. All right, so now that I've downloaded the new tune, I changed out the cord, and I'm back here at the Jeep to plug this into the OB2 port. So now that it's plugged into the OB2 port, you're gonna go into tune. You're gonna hit yes. Go down to stage 1 transmission tune, the arrow key. And once you press that arrow, you're gonna wait. And then it's gonna pop up a little code that says key on to confirm. Press OK. And now you wait. Also, while this process is going on, the gear shift is actually going to be lit up. Okay, so that process is finished. So now we're going to switch the ignition off and unplug the power gate 3. Now that the transmission tune's installed, we're going to take this baby out and make sure it shifts through all 8 gears before 70 miles per hour. And just remember, for the next 3 days, your truck is going to be relearning your shift points, so make sure you keep the throttle below 50%. All right, so let's get on the interstate and shift through all 8 gears before 70. And if you're not sure if you've gone through all 8 gears, switch over to manual and you can see it on the dash. In order to adjust your tune, you need to put your foot on the brake and ensure that you're in the diesel exhaust fluid section, and then you're going to press the set button and watch it go up. You hit it 5 times and it's gonna go race mode. And that's a wrap on the EOC Performance Exhaust and Tune. Now let's go play with this thing.